हेलो एवरीवन, नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है सभी लोगों का हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल पर। इंडियन पॉलिटी के पार्ट 5 सीरीज में हम लोग लेकर आए हैं आरआरबी एनटीपीसी पीसी स्पेशल के प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस। मैं प्रोफेसर रवि रंजन सर फिर से आप लोगों का स्वागत करता हूं। पार्ट 5 वीडियो में हम क्वेश्चन 400 से लेकर 500 तक करेंगे। और जो लोग भी फर्स्ट टाइम ज्वाइन किए हैं, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, चैनल को शेयर कीजिए अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ। चलिए, द फर्स्ट हाई कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया वॉज एस्टेब्लिश्ड इन तो फर्स्ट हाई कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया एस्टेब्लिश कहाँ किया गया था? तो आपको पता होना चाहिए, कोलकाता में किया गया था। विच इज द ओल्डेस्ट हाई कोर्ट इन इंडिया? कलकत्ता हाई कोर्ट इज द ओल्डेस्ट हाई कोर्ट इन इंडिया। व्हेन वाज दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट एस्टेब्लिश्ड इन इंडिया? 1966. द फॉर्मर चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया रंजन गोगोई was preceded by Deepak Misra. What is the motto of the Supreme Court of India? यतो धर्मस्ततो जया. Supreme Court of India came into existence on 28 January 1950. Where did the High Court of Uttar Pradesh located? High Court of Uttar Pradesh is located in which place? I hope you are aware with that. Allahabad. Who is the guarantor of fundamental rights of Indian citizen? Supreme Court. Who was the first female judge of the Supreme Court in India? M. Fatima Bibi. Who was the first Muslim female judge of Supreme Court? Same question. Justice M. Fatima Bibi. Which of the following features provided by the Constitution of India is related to Indian judiciary? Judicial independence. Before the present premises, where was the Supreme Court of India operated? From Parliament House. As on November 2020, where is India's newest High Court built? Amravati. As per November 2020, what is the total number of High Court in India? 25. Who among the following was the Chief Justice of India before the current occupant Chief Justice S.A. Bobde? So before S.S. Bobde, who was the Chief Justice of India? Ranjan Gogoi. Who is the 46th Chief Justice of India? Justice Ranjan Gogoi. Who is currently the Chief Justice of India? However, it is changed in 2025, but in the year 20 earlier it was Ranjan Gogoi. If the post of the President and Vice President became vacant, then who will act as the President of India? Chief Justice of India. Which of the following high courts has been largest jurisdiction in the country? Guwahati High Court. The article in the Part 5 of the Indian Constitution that describes the independence, powers of jurisdictions and procedures of the Supreme Court. Article 124 to 147. The Supreme Court delivered an important decision in January 2017, according to which political parties and politicians cannot do the following. Seeking votes based on caste, community, religion or language. To be eligible as a judge of the Supreme Court, a person must have experience of working in High Court for a minimum period of 10 years. Who can be appointed as ad hoc judge of Supreme Court for temporary period? High Court judges. What is the retirement age of Supreme Court judges? 65 years. Chief Justice of India, who has the distinction of serving as President and Vice President? Muhammad Hidayatullah. Below is statement A and reason are. Statement A. The judiciary in India is independent of the executive. The judiciary supports the government and helps the independent implementation of its plan. Choose the correct option. A is true, but R is wrong. Reason is wrong. The Constitution of India was envisaged in relation to the Supreme Court number of judges, Amendment Act 2008. There will be a fixed Court of India which will include the Chief Justice of India and dash will be the number of other judges. 30. So a total of 30 other judges and there will be a Chief Justice of India. Currently there are 34 judges in Supreme Court. According to the Indian Constitution, who has the right to transfer the judges of High Court? Chief Justice of India. By whom the legislative redundancy of State Assembly and Parliament examine? Judicial Review. So this is the end of chapter 18. Now we will start chapter 19 and the topic is Election Commission. What is the full form of EVM? Electronic Voting Machine. The first general election of Lok Sabha was held in the year 1951 to 1952. When was the first general election of the independent India held? 1951 to 1952. When was the first general election held in India after independence? Same question, 1951-52. So we have 52 as option. As of 2022, according to the Election Commission of India, the minimum voting age in India was, of course, 18 years, and today also it is 18 years. What was the Indian Election Commission set up? When? 25th January 1950. When was the none of the above nota option first used in the assembly election in India? Nota election C. November 2013. What is the term of office of the Chief Election Commission of India? 6 years term or continue till the age of 65, whichever is earlier. In which of the following states the electronic voting machines were used for the first time in India? Kerala. A set of norms and guidelines to be followed by political parties and contesting elections candidates during election time is called Code of Conduct. According to the India's Election Commission, political parties cannot release their manifesto in pre-poll silence period of 48 hours. Who is the current Chief Election Commissioner of India? They are asking who is the current election of India. At that time it was Sunil Arora. But tell me in the comment section who is the 2025 this year Chief Election Commissioner of India. Who was the first Chief Election Commissioner of India? First chief election was Sukumar Sen. Who appointed the Chief Election Commissioner of India? So, who appoints the Chief Election Commissioner of India? President. When the Election Commission of India celebrated the 8th National Voters' Day on across the country for the increased participation of citizens in the electoral process, one day before the Republic Day, that is 25th January. The Election Commission of India is not responsible for the election process of which of the following? Panchayat election. Which of the following statement is incorrect regarding the franchisee under the Indian democratic system? A mentally disabled person has the right to vote. Who can remove the Chief Election Commissioner of India from his post? Both houses of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. What is the full form of CEC? That is Chief Election Commissioner. So we are done with chapter number 18. Next chapter is chapter 20, Planning Commission or Niti Aayog. Planning Commission in India was set up in the year 1950. Who was the first chairman of Niti Aayog? Narendra Modi. Which institute did Niti Aayog replace? Planning Commission. In which year was the National Human Rights Commission launched in India? 1993. Who is the chairman of the Niti Aayog? The Prime Minister. Full form of Niti Aayog is National Institution for Transforming India. National Institution for Transforming India is the full form of Niti Aayog. When was the Planning Commission of India dissolved by the Union Government of India? 2014. Who is the chairman of the National Development Council? Prime Minister of India. Who was the Prime Minister of India when rolling plans were introduced in India? Morarji Desai. Where is the headquarters of Niti Aayog? New Delhi. When was the National Development Council established? 1952. The final approval of 5-year plan in India was done by National Development Council. Which committee is constituted by the government if population of a particular area exceeds 3 lakh? Now next topic is next chapter. Chapter number 21 is Panchayati Raj. Which committee is constituted by the government if the population of a particular area exceeds 3 lakh? That is Ward Committee. Which one of the following is not a part of the local government of India? Development Authority. The minimum age requirement for becoming the member of a municipality is described or prescribed under Article 253 fifth of the Constitution of India. So what is the minimum age? It's 21 years. According to the Constitution of India, the minimum age requirement for becoming a member of Panchayat is 21 years. In which of the following elections are 1/3 of the seats reserved for women? Panchayati Raj. In which of the following elections 1/3 of the seats are reserved for women? Panchayati Raj. Under the Indian political system, There is reservation for women in the Panchayati Raj institutions. What does the Article 243C deal with? Composition of the Panchayat. Which article of the Indian Constitution contains the provisions for the Panchayati Raj and the local body governments? Article 243. With which Indian state was the first to establish the institution of Panchayati Raj? Rajasthan. Which union territory of India does not have Panchayati Raj system? Delhi. Who recommended decision-making power should be decentralized, elected local bodies should be established? Balwant Rai Mehta Committee. The report of which committee recommended a three-tier Panchayati Raj system in India? Balwant Rai Mehta Committee. Panchayati Raj Amendment Bill 2018 passed in which assembly so that zone committee of the Panchayati Raj system of the three-tier can be cancelled and the system of two-tier can be established in the state? Madhya Pradesh. Is it fine? No. It is Arunachal Pradesh. Right? So 2018 Amendment Bill was passed in Arunachal Pradesh Assembly. Which was the first municipal corporation of India? Madras Municipal Corporation was the first municipal corporation of India. What was the name of the committee formed in 1986 by Rajiv Gandhi for the restoration of Panchayati Raj institutions for democracy and development? LM Singhvi Committee. If the Panchayat is postponed, the election will take place within 6 months from the postponed time. According to the Haryana Panchayati Raj Amendment Bill 2015, what is the minimum qualification of the candidates in Panchayati Raj elections? Higher secondary. No. It is matriculation. Matriculation is the minimum qualification candidates who wants to participate in the election. It was said by according to Haryana Panchayati Raj Amendment Bill 2015. In December 2015, which of the following options was announced as an important criteria for contesting in the Panchayati Raj election in Haryana? A purpose-seeking toilet in the house. So basically this was the important criterion. About 93% of the tribal women in Rajasthan cannot contest for the post of Sarpanch because they are not adequately educated. What is the essential education qualification? The minimum qualification is class 5th. Which of the following articles cannot be suspended during a national emergency? So the next chapter is chapter number 22. And the topic is emergency provisions. Emergency provisions. Which article cannot be suspended during the national emergency? Article number 20 and 21. Right, 21 is Article 20 is respect of conviction of offences and 21 is protection of life and personal liberty. The budget of a state under President's rule is presented before Lok Sabha. If a state fails to operate in a constitutional manner, a state emergency can be invoked There, who among the following can declare state emergency? President of India. According to which article President rule can be imposed in the state on the basis of valid reasons? Article 356. Under which article of the Indian Constitution the President can take over the government of a state in the case of failure of the constitutional machinery of that state? Article 356. Who has the right to declare emergency in India? President. Who declares emergency in India? President. Which Indian state has never been slipped to President's rule? Chhattisgarh. Which among the following articles of the Indian Constitution deals with financial emergency? Article 360. During the regime of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, the internal emergency was declared in the following year. 1975. Who imposed the national emergency in India? Indira Gandhi, 1975. Which of the following fund can be used by the Government of India in case of emergency or disaster? Contingency Fund. The first amendment of the Constitution of India was made on 1951. Which of the following is not correct with respect to amendments in the Constitution of India? 72nd Amendment to make provisions for setting up rent control tribunals. Which of the following constitutional amendment reduced the voting age from 21 to 18? 61st Constitutional Amendment. Which article of the Constitution of India gives the Parliament the power to amend the Constitution? Article 368. Article 360 of the Constitution is related to amendment of the Constitution. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India has Part 20 that deals with the powers of Parliament to amend the Constitution and its procedures? Article 368. Under which amendment it was added in the Article 75 of the Constitution, Indian Constitution, that the total number of ministers, including the Prime Minister, is the Council of Ministers, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members of the Lok Sabha. 91st Constitutional Amendment Act 2003. And the last question of the day. Which Constitutional Amendment Act in 1987 made Goa a full-fledged state with a state assembly and formed Daman and Diu as a union territory? 56th Amendment Act made it Goa a full-fledged state. So we are done with part 5 video is completed. We will meet in this part 6 video in which we will consider question 500 to 600. This is Professor Rrb Ntpc sir. So we are doing the Indian Polity series. Those who are preparing for the railway examinations, subscribe to the channel, share to your friends and press the bell icon. Thank you very much. Meet you in the next video. Thank you.